Okay, welcome to the Marvelous Marriage Moment. I'm Dr. Steve.
And I'm Megan.
Okay, and I don't know if you can tell how we're dressed, but we're going to talk about that in just a minute. On this episode, we're going to talk about 4 tips for becoming friends in a marriage.
And why is it important to be a friend? Because friends stay together.
Right. You should marry your best friend. And when I would do premarital counseling, I would say to the couple, I'd always start out with the guy, and I'd say, who's your best friend? And most guys got it. They'd go, oh, she is. I go, good, excellent. You should always marry your best friend. But every once in a while, some guy would go, oh, my buddy Phil, man, he's really a great guy. Like, oh, no, man, you need help. Okay, marry your best friend. Right?
And at the same time, the woman was saying, he's so wonderful.
He's wonderful.
Yeah,
I'll fix him.
yeah, exactly.
Right? So how do you become best friends?
Well, okay. Number 1, find fun things to do together. Now, for Steve and I, that's very easy.
Yes,
because
it goes like this.
Yes.
It's called go to baseball, and let's be specific, cheer for the Boston Red Sox.
Woo-hoo!
I don't know if you noticed, but there's a neon sign behind me that says Boston Red Sox, and Megan owns every piece of Boston Red Sox apparel there is. And I have to point out that this season for the Red Sox has been the most fun season ever, because currently we're very far into the season. They're completely undefeated, and the Yankees haven't won a single game.
Unprecedented.
I just wanted to point that out. Very, very important.
All right, so find fun things to do together. Now, sometimes as you mature in your marriage, the fun things change, right? There were things that we did as a young couple that they're not so fun anymore. So find things to do together that bring enjoyment. And we said it in an older broadcast, but if your wife likes to go to Home Depot, go to Home Depot.
Okay, if they think that's
I doubt
fun,
she's
right?
there,
Yep.
but we love to do baseball. We love to watch movies together. We like to cook together in
You
the
were
kitchen.
pretty creative with this stuff when you were dating, right? So don't lose that momentum after you get married. Find fun things to do together. Let's have a dialogue about it, right? It's easy to do.
Absolutely.
So that's number 1. Number 2 is this: learn to laugh at yourself. Learn to laugh at yourself. When I was pastoring, the people that made my life the most miserable were people that never learned to laugh at themselves. You are funny. You do funny things, and you need to learn to laugh at yourself in a humorous way, and help your spouse in the same way.
Now, there is an important danger in that one. Learning to laugh at ourselves means that it's okay for me to make jokes about myself, especially personal jokes, and we laugh. Right. It's okay for you to make jokes about you. It's really not appropriate for me to make jokes about your shortcomings, or vice versa.
Right. I think my parents didn't make it. They got divorced because my dad picked at my mom all the time. That's not the same as learning to laugh at yourself.
Right.
This is not learning to laugh at your spouse. This is learning to laugh at yourself.
Right.
Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, the third tip is this: notice the small things that a spouse does. Talk to me about that a little bit.
Well, spouses do so much for one another that doesn't even get noticed.
Right.
They're just things that you just do. It's become a habit. You go get me coffee every morning at my favorite coffee store, right?
$5.
$5, yes.
Yeah.
When we had all 8 of the children, you used to get me gas on Sundays so that I didn't have to worry about it, because running out of gas with 8 small children would have been a real nightmare for me. And so you made sure I had gas. Just things that we do. And thank you goes so far.
Right. And we don't think to thank for the little things, right? We were getting dressed for this episode, and we were in our closet, and I looked up, and my underwear was all nicely folded and stacked and put in its little basket, and I thought, how many times has that woman done that? And I held up a pair of underwear, right? And you were on the phone at the time. I mouthed the words. I said, thank you, right? That's a little thing. That's no big deal. I look at the rest of my clothes, and they're always I'm thinking about the 10,000 meals you've cooked over the years. And so if I haven't said thank you recently, thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Okay, very good.
You're very welcome. You know where that comes from? It comes from a heart that says I'm not owed anything.
Right.
So little things become important.
So number 1, find fun things to do together. Number 2, learn to laugh at yourself, right? Number 3, notice the small things that a spouse does. Number 4, make home a sanctuary for your spouse. What does that mean?
Well, it means that if you come home and you've had a hard day, it's not time for me to pile on. There were times in the Navy that you came home and said, oh, I can't believe that my commanding officer said this about me today. And he said, I never do this, and I've been behind with this. That's not the time for me to say, oh, yeah, I noticed it at home too,
he's
Steve.
absolutely
yeah,
right,
yeah.
Steve. Get your act together.
We ought to be a place of sympathy and compassion for one another.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough world out there sometimes.
Right.
And we get the privilege of ministering to one another, making our home a sanctuary.
Sometimes you just need a shoulder to lean on, and that shoulder ought to be at home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Make home a sanctuary. Excellent stuff. All right. So find fun things to do together. Learn to laugh at yourself. Notice the small things that a spouse does and say thank you for those. And then make home a sanctuary for your spouse. 4 excellent tips on becoming and remaining best friends.
Yeah, and go Sox.
And absolutely go Sox. All right, this has been your marvelous marriage moment. I'm Dr. Steve.
And I'm Megan.
Remember, for more, go to the store, characterhealth.store. We'll see you next time. Well, thanks for watching that clip on YouTube. Remember to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our weekly content. See you soon.